What's going on, guys? This is David here, and I am back with the 41st episode of Jailbreak Weekly. I have my co host on the line, Andy Hoff. What is going on, Andy? I know it's a little bit of a different intro than we normally do, but I figured I was like, why not just change it up a little bit? So,
Yeah, I
how are
like
you?
that. It's good to change it up. I'm doing good. I'm glad we have some news to talk about today. 'Cause,
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny because I talked to you off air and we were talking about stuff and you were like, yeah, it's kind of funny without this news happening. I was looking over at stuff and I was like, what really could we talk about? Like, there's not much to talk about. And then finally
exactly.
something did happen. So now we actually have something to talk about, which is really, it's great. So
Absolutely.
we're gonna spend a majority of our time on that. We do have a few tweaks to talk about as well. And we'll do that
And
towards the end
Jailbreak
of the
on.
show.
We're gonna
Yeah,
briefly talk about that. But
yeah,
yeah. So big news. Essentially, Pengu. We touched on this last week. They held their MOSEC conference, which is the conferences they've held for the past couple of years in China. And it was, there was a bunch of hype surrounding it because people were speculating that a jailbreak was going to be released or at least demoed. And we did get a jailbreak demo. And this was of iOS 10 Beta 1. So they essentially, at the end of their presentation, the meat of their presentation was them talking about how they achieved previous jailbreaks, but at the end, they had a one more thing kind of situation, and they demoed the iOS 10 jailbreak. They had basically Cydia running on iOS 10. They
right.
showed it in the widgets view of iOS 10. They launched the app, um, and they showed the Cydia app open. So they essentially proved that they have an iOS 10 jailbreak. Now there was no video feed, and so we don't really know what they had to say about it. But
Right.
coming from them, the extremely famous, well-known jailbreak group that has released several jailbreaks in the past, I think we could assume that at some point in the future, if these exploits don't get patched before the final release, after the final release of iOS 10, we'll probably be seeing something from them. So
Exactly.
that's
But
awesome.
another thing I wanted to touch on, and this is extremely important, like you said, and we'll touch on this a little bit later when we get into the huge rumor, the huge, big cow in the room, or however you want to say it. I forget what the term is. I think it's cow. Is it cow? No,
It's
it's not
elephant in
cow.
the room, but
Elephant. Yeah.
cows are cool
I
too.
don't know where I got cow from. I meant elephant,
The
but
big
yeah.
sheep in the room. Yeah.
I definitely meant elephant, but whatever. Anyway,
Whatever.
so
Same point.
yeah. So the big elephant in the room, of course, is this whole 9.3.2 jailbreak rumor that literally every blog, everybody has picked up on. We'll go and touch on that a little bit later. But as you said, there was no live feed, so there's no live stream of it. There's no video from it, which is
Yeah.
actually pretty interesting because I think last year they did a little bit afterward. There was up on somewhere. It was some type of like Chinese version of YouTube. I remember
Really?
because I think you sent
Okay.
me a link. There was like a few short clips of MOSEC, but it wasn't like a full like live stream video type thing. So, and also another thing is, even if it was a live stream, like it was all in Chinese.
That's true.
So a
That's a good point.
majority of the people that like are in our community probably wouldn't have understanded it that great. But there are some people that do speak Chinese. Like I think what's his name, Stefan Chan, right? Who
Yeah.
actually
He's
was,
he was the one who actually like broke the story. Yeah.
yeah, he
I
was
think he was one of the first at
yeah, he
least.
was one of the first to pick up on the story of the 9.3.2 jailbreak rumor, I believe. And so yeah, so I mean, the whole way it went down was pretty interesting, but yeah, so it's very hard to tell just because of that, based on the fact that there was no live stream, there was no this and that, whatever. But the thing we do know for sure is that they definitely did show off the fact that they had an iOS 10 beta 1 jailbreak. They definitely
Yeah,
showed
and
that
there's a few
off.
things you should keep in mind. Yeah, like again, first of all, you're not going to be seeing this release anytime soon because one, this is only iOS 10 beta 1 and it's coming out in the fall and it's probably
Right.
going to take time even after iOS 10 comes out in the fall for this to come out. And again, we don't know if these exploits are going to be patched, but I'm not too worried because they didn't really display how they, they didn't actually reveal their exploits that we know at least. So I don't see how Apple would be able to figure that out. But I don't know. It's
Honestly,
also
yeah.
just it's good to know that they're still active and that they've made some great achievements. So
Right.
that's That's really awesome.
Yeah, even if they did at this point, like the only way I could see them patching it if they did disclose at MOSEC how they went about this, the only way I could see them patching it is if somebody outside that room came over to Apple and said, "Hey Apple, we have a secret for you. Patch this." And then they went and patched it. That's the only way I could, see that this is like a thing because as we had said, prior, there was no live stream, there was no video.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you know,
And
there was no other way of anybody outside of the conference knowing.
And also, so the organizer of MOSEC, or at least one of the organizers of MOSEC, tweeted on basically just on his Twitter account. He was talking about the iOS 10 demo, and he said at one point one Apple researcher came to MOSEC and identified it, and he was talking about that in regards to the iOS 10 jailbreak demo. That's just something that just popped into my head because it makes me a little nervous because I mean I believe this guy's main language is Chinese, so it could have been lost in translation. But he said
Right.
one Apple researcher came to MOSEC and identified it. I don't really know what that means. I hope that means that an Apple researcher didn't come and identify the exploits. Like I don't know why that would ever happen. It doesn't make sense. But just
Yeah.
this tweet kind of I don't know. It's
Well,
just a little strange.
maybe what here's what I'm
I don't
thinking.
really
Maybe
get
what
it.
I'm thinking is a security researcher, maybe like Jarek or somebody like that equivalent of a person,
Yeah.
who mainly
Oh.
is into iOS and stuff.
Okay, I didn't think about
Maybe
it that
they
way.
came to MOSEC and looked at it and said, okay, these exploits checked out or whatever it is. Maybe it's not. What I'm thinking is it's probably not an Apple security researcher. Now I could be wrong because yeah, this conference was publicized. I mean, it's not something that it's like it's very very secretive. Only our jailbreak and only this community knows about it. Like en.mosec.org, I think that's their website or something like that, something to that extent. I mean,
Right, right.
it's public. Anybody can go and see it. So if some Apple security researcher that worked at Apple wanted to go to China and wanted to attend that conference so they could see the exploits and get information on it, theoretically that could happen, but I highly doubt it.
I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if there was an Apple, representative there. Because again, like whenever there's a security conference or something when that pertains to the security of their system, I would just think that they would send someone, just at least incognito. So again, I wouldn't be surprised if there was someone there, but what really does surprise me is that Pengu would just reveal their exploits to some random person. So, probably what that tweet meant, and I didn't really think about it this way before. It probably just meant someone who was into Apple research maybe came and proved that it was true. Maybe I don't know.
That's what I was thinking. I mean, we could both be wrong. Either
Yeah,
one
who
of us
knows?
could be wrong. It could be something completely different. That's another thing we have to take with a grain of salt as well. Is like you said. I mean, the organizer was Chinese as well. He spoke Chinese, so I mean, they do the best that they can, whether it's Google Translate or whatever the heck they use. I mean,
Yeah.
they do the best they can
Right.
to say what they want to say in English, but it might not always be up to par with the English that we,
Of course. Yeah.
are speaking because it's not their first language. So that's why I mean when one of the first jailbreak tools that they made came out, I think they made some like minor spelling error, and that was I think
Yep.
it was like instead of backing up, it was like back upping. Like
Yep. I remember that. Yeah.
yeah, and it's one of these things that's like lost in translation. Like I think they just didn't realize that that was the wrong way of saying it.
Right, exactly. And by the way, we'll have the link to this guy's Twitter, the organizer, in the show notes. But
Yeah.
okay, so that's the first section, the iOS 10 jailbreak demo, and that's really awesome.
Before you move on, I just want to go back and say the reason why we know that this guy is 100% the organizer is if you go on MOSEC's site,
Right.
and then there's like a little logo. It's the same profile picture that he has. If you click on it, then you actually get redirected to this guy's Twitter. So we know that this guy is like the actual organizer.
Indeed, yeah, very good point. Yeah, so yeah, again, definitely go check his tweets out. Okay, so then there's the next portion, which is the iOS 9.3.2, which is the latest firmware, the jailbreak rumors. So
Yeah, now this one we're not 100% sure about.
yeah,
So.
exactly. It's kind of sketchy. So right after MOSEC, I believe it started on Reddit and on Twitter. Apparently people claimed that when Pengu was answering questions after their talk, after their speech, that someone in the audience asked. I believe this is how it was. Someone in the audience asked them about the 9.3.2 jailbreak, and they said that it was going to be released soon, within the week. And that obviously spread like craziness around,
Yeah.
from blog to blog to, Reddit to YouTube to,
Well, I mean, when you start a rumor like that, it's kind of
Yeah.
hard, especially for like 7 months of not having a jailbreak for the current firmware. When you
Yeah.
start a rumor like that, it spreads like wildfire.
I mean, hey,
so
I got excited about it,
Yeah.
But these rumors, so it started on Reddit and Twitter. People started saying that, and obviously there was no real proof that it was them, and obviously this alongside the demo, it just kind of spread rapidly. But eventually, things started to come into light. So the organizer, the same organizer we were talking about earlier.
So I hit up the organizer, and I think this is kind of where everything started coming into light, because the organizer actually responded back to me and basically saying, I don't have the tweet up right now, but he basically said, I don't really know what's happening. I don't know really what's going on. All I know is this is a rumor. Like, I don't know anything else. And that's basically what he said. So I was like, as soon as he said that, I was like, a big red light was flashing on and off in my head. I was like, okay, something's not right about this, because of the fact that...
Yeah, I mean, he would be there, and he would be in the room because he's the organizer. And also,
Exactly.
before that tweet, he just said, the fact is that they showed 2 demos. One was in 9.3.2, and it was a privacy problem, but it didn't relate to a jailbreak. So
Right.
I think this rumor is pretty fake, just due to the fact that the organizer there said that he didn't hear anything about it at the event. I mean, maybe he's sworn to secrecy, but I don't know. It seems like it's just someone said something that was, they misinterpreted, or they made it up for whatever reason, and then it just spread. So, and also, like, I would be surprised if they demoed an iOS 10 jailbreak and then released a 9.3.2 jailbreak. It just seems a little...
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems
especially
like
with
they'd
9.
have their goals are set towards 10, so I don't know why they'd do something else.
Yeah, especially since 9.3.3 should be coming out theoretically
Well, I don't think that.
fairly soon. And yeah, you could argue that it doesn't matter because
I doubt they'd
Apple has
care.
been, coming out
I mean,
with...
like, Pengu doesn't usually care about it.
Yeah.
I mean, they do sometimes wait, but I doubt that a small update like that would phase them. I mean, maybe.
Yeah, so who knows? I don't know. I mean, it's just like one of these things where it's like, logically speaking, jailbreak teams want their jailbreaks to last longer than a week, because remember that? That wasn't so
man.
far, that didn't last too long. And so, I think ultimately they're trying to squeeze out the gap from when the jailbreak gets dropped, when everybody can use it, till when Apple releases a firmware that kills the jailbreak and now nobody else can use it again. And that happened, within the span of like a week last time, I think, right? I think it was last time. Or it might have been,
the thing is with the iOS 9 jailbreak, I think Pengu was intending for 9.1, so they were going to wait, because 9.1 was a big update. But
then
the
they just
exploits were
decided
plugged
to-
up in
yeah.
the betas, so they decided to drop it for 9.0.2, but it only lasted for a week. So that was just kind of a last-ditch effort. So, I mean, Taiji, come to think of it, is generally the one who is a little bit more crazy, and they just release things at random times. Pengu has been proven to have somewhat strategy, so maybe I shouldn't say that, because, again, Taiji is the one who's known to kind of be reckless. Pengu is a little more
Right.
strategical, I'd say.
So maybe they're waiting for 9.3.3.
Possible. That's definitely
We don't know. That's a big thing, is we don't know.
Or maybe Taiji will come
yeah.
back randomly. You never
Who
know.
knows? Maybe.
So, I don't know. Again, we're just going to have to wait and see with this rumor going forward in the next week. Again, it seems like it's very illegitimate because the organizer said he didn't see anything like that, but let's just cross our fingers. And, Taiji has been gone for a while. They've been gone for over a year since their 8.4 jailbreak. And, again, they're known to do things at random times. So they might come back, later this summer, before the fall, hopefully, and they'll release an iOS 9.3.x jailbreak. So
Do we think they're dead, though? Like, a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, they're dead because they haven't
I don't
released
think
in a
so.
while. But, yeah, I don't know.
They're just waiting it out.
Yeah. Well, there's that, and then there's also, a lot of people are, like, confused by it because there's that point, and then there's also, like, 3K Assistant was partners with them, and then months and months and months and months ago when they said, hey guys, we made a huge breakthrough.
Yeah,
everybody was cheering and everybody was super, super, super excited for it, and then it all just kind of fell apart, and
yeah, and then
nothing
it
came
wasn't
of that.
true at all.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that kind of makes me a little curious as to what the heck is going on, because 3K, I mean, was partnered. They were partners with them. So when they come out with a
I mean, I
statement
think they
like
still
that.
are. Like,
Yeah, I
I just
know.
think that,
Yeah.
like, look at Pangu. Like, between their iOS 8.1 jailbreak and their 9.0.2 jailbreak, that was almost a year. So, I mean, teams do hibernate for extended periods of time. Like,
Right, but like
it doesn't mean
Tai
anything.
G never really said anything
Well, I
regarding
mean,
what happened with
Pangu
3K.
did. I don't think. I think, yeah, I think either they were the ones who told them to take it down and revise it, which is what the 3K people had to do, because it was either wrong or they didn't want it to go public. So it's possible that they were there behind the scenes managing things. Like, you never know.
Right, that's true. But I feel like to clear all the like I guess I would say smoke and mirrors and dust away from this situation, it would be nice to have it. And even for 9.3.2, which is it's probably not going to happen, but to have a confirmation from Pangu from 9.3.2, and like I was saying, the same could
Well,
be
they
said
don't
for
do
Tai
that.
G,
Yeah.
you know, about certain things. Like for Tai G in particular, to have a confirmation from Tai G saying, hey guys, look, 3K assistant screwed up and kind of said some stuff that we didn't want said. So we took action and did so. I mean,
But
yes, it's
maybe
probably
they
not
don't
going to
want to like
happen.
explain it,
Yeah,
or they might just not want to draw attention to it. I mean, well, we know these Chinese teams they're not the best on communicating. I mean, to be honest, jailbreak teams generally don't like to say stuff that they don't need to say. You know,
yeah,
generally like it seems like communication with any jailbreak team is just like need to know. You know what I mean?
yeah.
That's just kind of the way they operate. I don't know why that is. But maybe it's just trying to not throw anybody off or not give hints to Apple, but they generally just like work incognito and drop a jailbreak when they want. I mean, like there's been some exceptions with some old teams, but for the most part, that seems like how things are done.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of
Yeah.
feel like maybe they definitely do have something. Both teams, I know for a fact, definitely have something up their sleeves. Like obviously Pengu does because they have this iOS 10 beta 1 jailbreak. So if they have this, then that means that those exploits work on 9.3.2. Now
Well, not
obviously they're not
necessarily,
gonna.
because like they could have exploited some of the new
That's
SDKs
true.
and features.
That's true. That's true.
It's
But
possible.
if it's not, so we could go two different ways. We could say that they're exploiting the new features and new APIs that 10
Right.
has, and then it can't be backported to iOS 9.3.2. Or we're saying that we're going the other way and saying that yes, instead of using those APIs, they just used a general exploit that was available on 9.3.2, so that could be backported. But at the same time, it's not really something that. I mean, if they have it for iOS 10 beta 1, they're saving it for iOS 10 final version. They're not touching it until then.
Well,
So,
if let's say one of the future betas patches their exploits and they
that's
are
true.
functional on
That's true.
9.3.2,
Yeah.
maybe then they would have to release it because that was what they did with iOS 9.0.2 and 9.1. You know, they
Right,
were
because
planning to
there's
wait, but
yeah,
they had to drop it earlier, so
because
that
there's
could happen
really
again.
because there's really
You never
no
know.
point in if it's already patched. There's no point in keeping it.
Exactly.
So
Right. Or if some exploits are patched or whatever.
yeah,
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I'm super excited. Bottom line, we have that iOS 10 demo. They're still active. They have it, what looks like to be a jailbreak. Obviously, we're not sure about the code aspect of it, but coming from them, I think it's safe to assume that it's really good news and that they probably are, wait until the final release, and it's just awesome. And obviously, with these sketchy rumors, we'll just have to see.
yeah. We've literally been on this topic forever. I didn't even realize.
I know. Well, hey, what? It's big news. We haven't received news like this in like
Yeah.
8 months, so
So yeah, I know
yeah.
that's a big thing that we also want to highlight is like this is the first time we've heard from Pangu in like
Or
forever.
Taiji, like any actual team
Yeah.
in like 8 months.
Any
We've heard from
actual
like other
team that's
people, but
any actual team that's actually provided a public release
in the
we haven't
past,
heard from
exactly.
in a long time. So
Good,
yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
So let's just change gears a little bit because the Cydia tweak scene has been pretty dry lately. Obviously, it's been a while since we've seen a jailbreak. A lot of people have probably updated to iOS 10 or just lost their jailbreaks along the way, but there's still been some decent tweaks
Right.
released.
And another thing
Yeah.
before we get into the tweaks, I just wanted to say
Oh, yeah,
is
go ahead.
that a lot of devs are, and I've seen this on Twitter, a lot of devs have been publicly saying it, that amongst these rumors, they have halted, any production or development of some of their
Yeah.
tweaks that they were
And,
actually
yeah.
going to provide, to release to Big Boss or ModMyi or whoever, just because, I mean, if you think about it from a monetary developer perspective, I mean, they're going to get a lot more sales. It's going to get a lot more hype around whatever tweak they're trying to put out there, whether it's free or paid. Regardless, they're going to get a lot more hype surrounding the tweak if they have more users that are using it. If it comes out, when around the time when a new jailbreak comes out, there's going to be a lot more people. There's going to be that are going to be able to.
It makes sense. Like, yeah, I mean, like releasing a jailbreak now, you wouldn't get as much money or even just attention. Like a lot of people would just miss out on your project. So, but there has been some okay tweaks. I mean, not okay, good. There has been some good, solid tweaks that have been released recently.
Yeah.
So, let's just start off with NC app. This one is 99 cents, and it allows you to. It basically just adds a new tab to Notification Center. Of course, you have today notifications, and then there's this new one called NC app. And then if you tap on it, it essentially provides you with a nice little scrolling bar, which allows you to select basically any app icon from the apps on your device. And when you tap on it, it'll essentially place that app within Notification Center. So you could always access it within that tab. So you could pull the Notification Center when you're on, inside of any application, on the home screen, on the lock screen, whatever. And that app will always be accessible kind of within Notification Center. So it's like a shrunken down little view there. And you could also select X and select another app. Or you could just leave that one there, and it'll always open up to that when you pull the Notification Center. And it doesn't use any extra battery or anything. When you pull it down, it just opens it up. It's not like it's always refreshing in the background or anything. And a use case for this is, let's say you're you're using one application, I don't know, and then you want to be able the ability to basically just check a different app without having to leave that one app. You could just quickly pull down your Notification Center and then go to the NC app section. Then you could just quickly check that app and then dismiss Notification Center. I can't really, I don't have a huge use case for this tweak, but I certainly see the appeal. Like, there's other tweaks that let you manage two apps on your screen at one time. This is just one way of implementing it, and it's 99 cents, so if it sounds like something you like, just go download it. Would you use this, David?
I don't think I would, just because if I really wanted to use two apps, and be productive and use it at the same time, I would use, a multitasking tweak, I forget what it was called, but before there was one.
Reach
that
app.
was Reach
Multiplexer.
app. Yes. Okay. I was thinking before Multiplexer, there was one just that was separate before
Reach
all
app,
that.
yeah.
So Reach app, I would use something like Reach app to actually enable this. But then again, I don't think Reach app or Multiplexer has been updated for iOS 9. So.
And this is actually, I do like this tweak. It's a lightweight version of those tweaks, because this is nice because it's very simple. It just allows you to place this one app in here. It's not really complicated. It's just a little easier, and it's kind of integrated into something, being Notification Center, that you're comfortable with already. So, I really like this tweak. It's like a hidden gem, because obviously it hasn't gotten much attention, but it's cool. I do appreciate it.
I mean, it's an interesting tweak, and I mean, it's just and the reason why, before this, I was just okay, this is stupid. Before, when Andy was first showing me, and then I was wait, maybe if you open an app and then you pull down Notification Center and then you go to that tab, is it still going to be there? And he did it, and he was oh yeah, it is. I was okay, then I could see this being a thing. Then I could maybe see me using this. But if it was just from the home screen and it wasn't it didn't let you use it in an app, I just couldn't really understand why somebody would want the ability to use an app in just Notification Center on the home screen. But then if it was inside an app, then I could kind of understand it. So
exactly, yeah. And I don't know if I'll keep this installed. I might. This might be one of those tweaks that I really find use in. I'll play with it for the next few days, see if I want to keep it. But it's 99 cents, so you can't it's not too much of an investment. So
yeah,
if you're still jailbroken, you should check it out, definitely.
To the 2% of the people that are listening to this, they're still jailbroken.
Exactly, I know. It's rough, but
yeah,
all we could do is cross our fingers. But all right, we have a couple more tweaks we want to talk about, just some simple ones. So we have volume percentage. This one's available for free, and this essentially, when you tap on the volume HUD, and of course you get the pop up in the middle of your screen, this will essentially add a percentage to that, indicating what the percent is. So when you go from brick to brick, it'll show you it'll go from 62 to 68 to 75, and then all the way up to 100, etc. And yeah, it's just really cool. It just provides some numerical values to that, because you don't really know when you're just adjusting volume. You don't really know what the exact number is. So it might be a little confusing there. In the settings for the tweak, there's like there's a precision configuration. You could configure using decibels, like how precise you want it to be. Like you could have it 87.50000 or something like that, or you could just have it, just a very simple number with only a couple points, or you could have 0 decibel places, so it just shows you just X%, which is probably the simplest way.
Right.
And then there's a couple different themes you could have. You could have it so it completely gets rid of the normal little volume speaker button, speaker image in the middle, which is actually really cool, because so it just shows the percentage, which is actually the one that I prefer. Or you could just have it show the number with no like box or no little, buttons down below at the bottom. You could literally just have it so it says the percentage in the middle of the screen. I don't know. Like I gotta say, I probably like large number, like just the one with the number, because I don't really see the need to have those dots if I have this. But at the same time, I've kind of been trained to to look at that number. Sorry, to look at that those amount of dots and just kind of know. I kind of know how much volume a certain amount equates to it. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I just feel like I'd probably want both. But at the same time, I really like the way the, only numerics looks. But anyways, it's a cool tweak. Like, I'm glad this was released.
Is there any way that you could kind of like make the HUD of the volume control like smaller or?
No. I mean, again, if you use the numbers only, it'll
it?
just show you a number. But there's other tweaks that let you do that. I think HUD customizer is one of those.
No, well, the reason why I'm asking is because I know maybe it could get a little bit cluttery, or it could just look a little bit off, because the way, the HD looks standard from, since iOS 7 is, it's blurred and you can't really see, whatever's behind that just little HUD. So,
right, there's other tweaks to fix that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is a cool one, like genuinely cool. Would you use this?
I would. I think I would. The next tweak, I don't know about though.
Oh, it's called Koi Sim. So let's just move on to our next tweak. This one essentially is for a very niche group of people. You know that pop-up when you have no SIM card installed? How it just says no SIM card installed?
Yeah.
For the average person who uses a SIM card, you're not going to need something like this. But this tweak basically just makes it so that doesn't happen. But if you use your phone without a SIM card, regularly, and when you reboot or respring, it's going to give you that pop-up every single time.
Okay.
And I've done that, and it's annoying. So
okay, I was going to say, is this something you've kind of had to deal with? Because I know you have iPhones that, you've had previously that now, because you're using I think your main device is your iPhone 6S Plus, right?
Yeah.
So So, I mean, you've definitely had devices like the iPhone SE, or... That's a good story.
Yeah, I'll tell that in a minute.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so you've had devices like that, or other devices like the
like
iPhone
the 6 Plus or
5 or 6
5S,
Plus,
whatever.
stuff like that. And obviously, since it's not your main device, you don't have the SIM card in it anymore. So I would imagine that anytime you reboot, it would give you that annoying pop up. So.
It's like my 5S. There's no SIM card in it. I still use it for a lot of stuff, but every time I respring that pop up. So this is something good for that circumstance. Absolutely.
Yeah, I guess I could see that being a thing, but like the regular user that has their device that has their main device jailbroken, that has a SIM card in it, they're not going to have to deal with this. So
exactly.
It's
for testers, people who have
for a very small amount of people.
Exactly. But hey, you know what? If that's one of you, this is an awesome tweak. So props to the developer for that.
Yeah, to be honest, I would actually most likely use this. Like, this would probably be a thing for me if I still had my iPhone 5. My dad just made me trade it, though, to get the 6S, because he was like, oh, it's more money to keep it. So, yeah.
Right. I got you.
So if I still had the 5, which I honestly wish I did, because it would be jailbroken now, because...
I mean, you still have your iPod Touch, right?
Yeah, but it's not the same as having like an actual phone that's jailbroken.
Well, I mean, what's the difference? Like, if it doesn't have a SIM, like, iPod's basically
the difference is you can, you don't have to download stuff from Cydia and rely on Wi-Fi. You can use, your data or anything else like that.
Oh, so you'd be willing to like take your SIM out of your 6 and put it in your 5? I mean, I guess.
Well,
I could do that
possibly.
too, if I mean,
I think I might try that maybe for like a week as like a challenge to see if I would ever go back down to like that really small screen size. But honestly, I don't think I could do it because it's like I'm so used to the 6S screen size now that it's like
Yeah.
when I use my iPod for a long period of time, I'm just like, wow, this is crazy. Like
I know, like
I'm just
the
totally not used to
keyboard
it.
is so small. That's the
Yeah,
problem I always have. But at the same time, like I'd probably be willing to do that because I'm very devoted to having a jailbroken device. Like
yeah.
I'm
So
hardcore.
that's yeah. So that's why I'm saying I'm not sure. I might, like I said, I might use it like for a week as a challenge. Even not even as a challenge. I might just want to use it because I want the jailbreak again. So yeah, I don't know.
Oh
Maybe
yeah,
I'd do
so
that.
my iPhone SE story. So
Oh yeah,
oh
this is
my
a good
god.
one.
So I've okay, so I was trying to export a video on an iPhone. I do edit videos on iPhones. People think that's crazy, but I use the iMovie
iMovie.
app to do so.
Yeah,
It's it works. Like generally, all I'm doing is cutting clips. Occasionally, I put some
yeah.
text in there, but it could do all that. So I have 16 gig phones. I have like several. All my iPhones are 16 gigs. So I
And
was
this is
using it.
why you shouldn't buy a 16 gig phone.
Well, you'll see that it's not that bad of a thing. Like later on, but I
Well,
was trying to export this
regardless.
I was trying to export this video, and literally, this phone, it was an iPhone 5S. It had nothing on it. It was completely fresh restored, just the iMovie app. And it was a 30-minute video. It was my top 100 features in iOS 10. So, shameless plug. Go check that out. But, anyways, it was so long that the phone couldn't export it. Literally, just the base storage on the phone was not enough to export this video. So, I was like, okay, I don't know what to do. I just spent 2 days editing this nonstop because it took me a while to make that video. I
Yeah.
was like, I am not just scrapping this. That's not happening. So I went to Apple, and my plan was I bought an iPhone SE, 64 gig, and I was just gonna use it for one day and then, just go back and return it the next day because they have that return policy. So I got home and I was about to open it up and do it, but I was like, you know what? There's this one last thing that just popped in my head that I could try, and I'm going to give it a try without having to use this phone. And sure enough, it worked. So,
So
it was,
what was it that you had to do in order to make everything work?
apparently there's an option in iMovie that lets you send it to iTunes on your computer, and then you could plug it in and drag the file
Okay.
off. I don't understand how it worked because like I thought it still needed to export, but
Hmm.
I don't know how it works. It goes beyond my technical understanding how that actually worked. I'll have to look into that. But so then
Okay.
I finished it up. I uploaded the video, and I'm like, okay, I have this shrink wrapped iPhone SE that
What the heck am I gonna do
have
with it?
no idea. Like I have no use for this. So
Yeah.
I am just gonna return it without even opening it. I'll just say whatever, I didn't need it.
So and yeah, you tried to return it yesterday, right? But the Apple store was closed already.
Yeah, just bad luck. So I ordered a pizza instead.
There you go. So maybe today you could stop by the Apple store and see if you can return it. Watch, they're
Yeah,
gonna be
'cause-
like, "No, sir, you can't return it." I would
Oh
laugh.
my god, I swear if that happens. But
Well, then you could like challenge yourself to see if you could go to the iPhone SE screen size and use that.
I mean, I already reviewed one like months ago, so I don't really
I
have
know.
any use for it. But whatever, I'll return that. That's my iPhone SE story.
Yeah, I just like as much as like when I had it, I used to love that screen size. Now I just can't go back to it anymore. I can't see myself using
know.
that screen size.
You know what? There's a couple things. The keyboard in portrait mode is just unbearable. Like it's so small. Like because I use a 6S Plus. Like it's just there's no going back. And then
Yeah.
videos too. Videos seem like they're like a little inch of the screen. It's just too small. So, I'm never going back to a phone like that. Next
Yeah.
year with the 7, I'm probably gonna go down to the normal 4.7 inch because I love the 5.5, but I want to try something new, and I think it might be a little more manageable. So I
Four
might give
point.
that a try.
I really like the 4.7. Like I've had just the regular 4.7 6S, and I like it because it's like the 5.5. Sure, it might be really really good, especially for us, right? Because
It's
bigger
good for
battery.
videos. Yeah,
You know,
battery's awesome. As well.
yeah, it's like, and to be honest, the 6S battery kind of sucks. So
Yeah, that's what I've
it's
heard.
not exactly fantastic battery wise, but the size I think I like. It's just because it fits in my pocket. It's good. I
It
can
is
just
the
pull it
perfect
out.
size.
It's just I like it. It's perfect. And when because my dad had gotten the 6 back when the 6 came out, back when the 5.0, the 4.7, the 5.5 came out, and he was like, I'm getting the 4.7. Like, I can't get the 5.5 because what he wanted to do was he wanted to, like, when he was going to work, he wanted to like put it in his shirt pocket. And he couldn't do that with the
Right.
5.5 because it would like stick out way too much. So he was like, and he wanted to put it in his pocket and like a bunch of other stuff. And he was like, when it came time for me to get the 6S, he was like, you need the 4.7. Like you can't get the 5.5. It's gonna be way too big. And I was like,
I mean,
that's
I
true.
love it. Like, don't get me wrong. And, I've bought several of them across the past couple of years, but it's just like I was in the Apple Store the other day when I was buying my iPhone SE, and I was holding the 6S in the hand, and I was like, this is a good size. Like, as much as I love having all the benefits, battery, etc. To be honest, I'm using my phone so often, and I have all these crazy software tweaks, whatever, on them, and my battery's not that great to begin with, so that's not going to steer me away. And also, I just want to try something new. Like, I want to see how this goes for me, and I feel like it's going to be fine. So
Yeah.
we
Well,
shall
I mean,
see.
before this, it was kind of like if you wanted to try something new, you would get a white phone instead of a black phone, or a black phone instead of a white phone. But now it's different because now we have actual like different sizes of the phone,
Right.
so you could kind of pick and choose what you actually want rather than just color wise. So I mean, now this is like from a practical perspective, from like actually using it day to day. It's like a 4.7 iPhone differs so much from a 5.5 iPhone day to day.
Absolutely.
Day to day. So with
Yeah.
that being said, yeah, I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah, I also think I'm gonna go with space gray. I mean, I haven't bought I don't know whatever the proper grammar is, but I haven't purchased a, black colored iPhone. I don't think from Apple new in my life. Ever since the iPhone 4, I've gotten the white colored phones. So I'm definitely want to try something new there.
Yeah, well, my iPhone 5, I had the now they obviously they call it space gray. It's not really black anymore, but for pre iPhone 5S, it used to be called black for the iPhone 5, just black
Yeah.
and white. But
Right.
now I don't even think they have black and white. I think it's just space gray and then silver. Is white
Yeah, I
even a
think that
thing?
there's rumors with the iPhone 7 that there's gonna be like a return of space black, which is gonna be like a darker color.
Okay. So it's gonna be like a
Essentially.
darker version of like it's gonna be the black. It's gonna be a darker version of the.
Yeah, I think they might also have space gray, so it might just be like another option. Who knows? There's so many rumors.
What's
going
with the
on right now,
space? I never understood that. Like
me neither.
what? Like it's okay. I
Well,
guess
okay.
it's
I mean,
out,
I guess like
out in
maybe it's like
space.
moon colored.
Out in space, it's gray. Okay.
Space
No,
dust,
but like
whatever. I don't know.
no, I'm just saying like why did they come up with that?
I
Like
know,
of all
it's
things, I
kinda
just
random.
find that weird how they came up with that. I don't know.
Also, yeah, it's like I think maybe it's like the dust on the moon is kind of like that same
Maybe.
color. I don't know.
Wasn't there like a space blue or something or dark blue or
Yeah,
deep
that's a
sea
rumor
blue
as
or
well.
something? I don't know. That was
Deep
thinking.
blue, deep blue.
Honestly, like I might actually consider getting that because I really
Me too.
a lot of
It
people
doesn't
are
look bad.
like, "Oh no, it's
growing
going to
on me.
suck. It's going to be terrible." Like but honestly, like blue's my favorite color and like I have a blue iPod Touch 6th Gen and it looks really nice. So if it looks anything like that and just maybe a little bit darker, like I think I'd like it to be honest. And I have a blue phone. I'm looking at it right now, or not a blue phone. I meant to say I have a
Yeah,
blue
our blue
case
iPod.
on my phone.
Oh, blue case.
Is what I was trying to say. Yeah, I have a blue
It's like a
case
nice
on my
shade of
phone.
dark blue too. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I don't know. I could see myself buying that. And also another thing is, I think from just I mean, I know you're gonna get it if it's a thing because you're you and you wanna get every new color.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I've matured a little.
You
bit,
got
like,
the rose gold, so
Yeah, I still use it. Like it's
Yeah.
great, but I don't know. I might want to go for something a little bit just like sleeker this year. I'm
Yeah.
not too sure.
well if it was the blue,
I don't know,
it's
yeah, and
not
also,
a
like,
huge
when-
deal. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a nice dark blue. Like when I first saw it, I thought it was awful, but it's kind of classy and it's grown on me. So,
Yeah.
anyways,
Oh,
we have one more thing I just want to quickly mention before we wrap up, and that's Jailbreak Con, and that's happening on
Yay.
July 9th and 10th, I believe. I should know this because I'm going, but I
Yeah.
don't.
Yay and boo. Yay because
Yeah.
I love
9th and 10th.
Jailbreak Con and the festivities and stuff. Boo because I can't go and I'm sad.
I know, it's too bad. But, I'm super pumped. Like, I'm super pumped to see everyone in the same room, just be able to hang out with everyone.
Yeah.
Speakers, stuff like that. Justin and I are probably going to be speaking as well, so that should be awesome.
So maybe what I'm thinking is, I mean, obviously this is going to be something that's recorded. Maybe what we can do is we can kind of have, maybe for an episode, I'm not sure, or maybe it'll just be like it won't be an episode, it'll just be like a one-off or something. We'll have like we'll get like an MP3 file of your talk, and then we'll just stick it in the episode or something.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
maybe. I don't know. Who knows how that'll all work? But
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just super excited for the whole experience. Yeah, we will try to get some interviews of some people there. No guarantee on that, but that's definitely something.
Wire me in this time, will you? Thanks.
I'll try. It's the
Get
Wi-Fi
the Wi-Fi
was,
working.
I think we must have had problems with the Wi-Fi or something last year.
No, yeah. Well, from what everybody said, the Wi-Fi was really bad last year at the venue.
You know, I'll set up a hotspot. Worst comes to worst. I mean, I don't know how the service will be. So
yeah, make sure you have your data.
we never know.
No, not
Yeah,
even just that. No, well, it was because I remember what happened. You said you and Justin both ran out of data.
Oh, is that what it was? Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I think I probably have a new plan now because I don't know. I don't remember what my plan was last time we were there, but now I have.
I was just like sitting there waiting. I was like, hello, are they gonna like wire me in somehow? Like, I know there's an interview that's going on because they had said something in iMessage, but now I'm just sitting here by myself waiting.
Well, we will do our best.
Yeah.
We're gonna check it out.
Least you can do if you can't wire me in, let me know, please.
Yeah, we'll give you updates.
Let me know that
SMS, text
let me know that you're not going to be able to do it or something, so I'm not just waiting there.
I got you. Don't worry.
Okay.
I'll keep you in the loop.
Okay.
Anyways, I think that wraps up the show. You have anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, not really. I don't know. Not that much.
Good show.
Yeah, it was a good show. I think Jailbreak Con is going to be, even though every year, regardless if I go or not, I still have a blast with Jailbreak Con just because I love looking at the live stream. I love hearing these guys talk, whether it's like few notable mentions, Ryan Petrich or, Shernix or, let's say Sarek, because obviously he always talks. So it's interesting to hear those guys talk. So even though I'm not in the room and I'm not physically there, I'm not actually there, I still enjoy it. So
absolutely,
I'm excited.
Yeah, it's a great experience, like just for everybody. Hopefully there'll be a live stream.
I think there will be. I'm hoping. If there's not, then I'm gonna be really sad. I'm hoping there is. Craig, please make sure that there's a live stream. Please, if you're listening to this.
I think it was simple last year. I think we just used an iPhone and like loaded up a YouTube stream. So
yeah,
there'll probably be one.
Well, I would assume it was simple because the connection wasn't really that great.
Yeah, I think it was over. I don't know. Maybe it was over LTE or something.
Yeah.
Anyways, you know what? This is our last show before the Jailbreak Con because that'll be next week. So our next show will hopefully have some interviews in it with some people. But if not, it'll be after Jailbreak Con, so we'll be able to talk about all of the random stories that we'll definitely encounter. So yeah, Jarek, Justin, and I will all be there. So
yeah, and if something breaks at Jailbreak Con, in what I'm saying is like if breaking news happens,
right.
We will, which I doubt because, from what I can tell, I just have a feeling that it's not going to. But like certain people have said, "Oh yeah, I'm going to be presenting," and nothing really came of that. So we'll see if that happens. I'm not going to say who it was. I think Andy, you know what I'm talking about, but I'm not going to say who it was. And if you don't, when we're offline, I'll tell you what I'm trying to say. But so. I don't know. We'll see what happens. If anything, huge happens, or if anything, like, Shernix might do something. Shernix might, do Alki 2 there, or who, I don't know. I have literally know nothing, but my point is that I know he did the first Alki there, and he did like a one more thing type of situation. So if we have that type of situation, definitely we'll let you guys know if anything like that kind of happens. But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. So, again, Thank you all for listening. Do you want to stick around for a little while to see if we have anybody
in the chat? Yes. Before we hop off, let's just double check the chat. Let's just see if
the chat's like dead. It says yo, hola, and then like a smiley, a thinking face, and a smiley face. And then I said, this is what I said like 20 minutes to half an hour ago. I said, hey guys, you can leave questions here and we'll answer them towards the end of the show, and nobody did. So
right, yeah. Well, anyways, we tried, so it's been a good show. So, do you want to take us out, David?
Yeah, all right, for sure. Yeah, it's been a good show, and I don't know, I'm really excited for next week.
Jailbreak Con.
regardless if, I'm there or not, like, there in quotations, whether or not you wire me in or I just watch the live stream or whatever, I'll, regardless, even if there's not a live stream, I'll see stuff on Twitter. So,
I'll be posting stuff probably.
Yeah. Regardless, I'm pretty excited. So, thank you, all right, we're starting that over. That came out of my mouth so weird. I was like, thank you.
After you've been talking for like an hour straight, that's just kind of happening.
Yeah. It's just that the words don't flow anymore after you've been talking for so long. Okay. Well, anyway.
Okay. All right.
Thank you all so much for watching. I enjoyed podcasting this week, as I always do. Thank you so much to Andy for agreeing to do this. By the way, we didn't mention this, and I think we probably should, because everybody's probably like, where are they? Jarek is actually...
we didn't even talk about that. Oh, damn.
That just completely like went out of our head. But anyway, yeah, Jarek is, I think I don't know where he is, but he's like in some...
I think he's on vacation with family.
Some kind of, family vacation for 4th of July weekend. By the way, happy 4th of July. It's not 4th of July right now.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, you too, man.
Happy 4th of July, because it's July 3rd, so it's practically the 4th.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
Oh, and also Justin is at a conference.
Right.
I believe, I'm not sure, maybe it's in Florida or something, but he's doing some work.
Yeah.
So
we really couldn't get him out to do the show. But yeah. My theory is they should be, if I'm not on, Justin definitely, because he's going to Jailbreak Con, will be there.
Jarek too.
Jarek as well. Jarek's going to be there for the interview. Was he there for the interview last time? I think so, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so he'll be around for the interview regardless. But again, thank you guys so much. Sorry for not mentioning Justin or Jarek. I know that probably like confused a lot of you guys.
Yeah, Justin's gonna be like so mad. He's gonna
Justin's gonna be like, "Come on, they didn't mention me. You guys are so like."
No,
wow.
I'm kidding. He's very chill. But anyways, yeah, we'll talk to you guys next week.
Yeah, see you guys later. Peace.
That was weird. I don't know why I did that.